Morning, Chris.
Morning.
Nice of you to join us so early
Thank you.
in the morning. First order of business for Mr. de Ruyter. What a tough job.
Yeah, it is, and I think his experience in the private sector with Sasol and Nampak brings some experience of customer focus, which is sadly lacking at Eskom as a state-owned monopoly. So this new customer focus, I think, will be important.
Yeah. How much of a success did he bring at Sasol?
Well, at Sasol, his record at Sasol is not really clear and open. But from what I hear, he has a good record at Sasol. The record at Nampak is somewhat different if you were to just look at the share price, which has dropped dramatically under his leadership. But nevertheless, experience in the private sector in very harsh economic conditions is useful. But the problem really is he's now moving into a state-owned enterprise with a completely different culture.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to need to deal with politicians, nameless, faceless, and unaccountable people behind the scenes who were going to try and tell him what to do. And that's not going to be easy, and there's that hard balance between an independent leader and a state-owned enterprise where you really are controlled by government and party.
Chris, you well know the criticism that Pagamani Hadebe faced at Eskom. People saying he's got no engineering background, nor does he have experience in the energy space. So Andre de Ruyter was in the energy sector. Sasol is an energy company. But how much of a background in the engineering sector does he have? Basically, what are his credentials?
Well, look, Sasol is not just an engineering company, it is a coal mining company. It also uses coal as a feedstock for its synthetic fuels, and lastly, it generates electricity on site, not only using coal, but also using gas. So I think that brings some experience. The other thing to say is, I don't believe leadership of an organization like Eskom is about being an engineer or an accountant or a lawyer. Leadership is about the ability to build around you a team which comprises all of these skills, and it's really a people's person. A people's person is required that can inspire this team, not only your executive team, but also the board, and also the entire organization with a new vision that brings unity and energy with a common purpose to do something with this organization.
Chris, we can't ignore the fact that he comes from the private sector.
Indeed.
I think of people like Vuyani Jahan at SAA. He didn't last. Mark Barnes at the post office. He didn't last. Will he stay the course?
You know, it's not about saving Eskom. His job is not to save Eskom. His job is to unbundle Eskom and to prepare it for the future. And the future is not about saving Eskom or returning Eskom to its former glory. It's about creating a new electricity supply industry in very different world where the game has changed and is still changing radically. So I don't see his task as to save Eskom, but his task is to ensure at least cost reliable electricity for the whole of the South African economy. And that's very different from saving Eskom. Eskom cannot be saved. It has to change.
Political support.
Yes.
Something that Vuyani Jahan, by the way, complained about in his resignation letter when he left SAA. Political support is going to be critical here, Chris. You already have the third biggest party in the country, EFF, saying his appointment flies in the face of transformation. In fact, he should be rejected.
Yes, I know. You know, if we had a well-oiled machine that was firing on all cylinders, perhaps we would have the luxury of choosing somebody with the right credentials in terms of BEE. But at this stage in crisis management, it's not about that. It's about choosing the best person for the job, whoever that may be. And I'm not saying he is the best person for the job. I don't know. I actually don't know him as a person, but that's not surprising. I don't know all the business leaders in South Africa. But he has been appointed. He does bring some skills, but I agree with you fully. The need for political support, somebody to watch his back politically while he gets on with making the very hard decisions. Cutting costs. That means coal costs, it means staff remuneration, it means the interest bill of Eskom. Those are the three main costs in the income statement. This is a very challenging task, and he's going to come under immense pressure politically from every angle, and if he hasn't got somebody to watch his back politically, and that means at the highest level, because Pravin Gordhan is also watching his back. He needs support from the president, somebody to watch his back while he gets on with a real job.
Chris Yelland, thank you very much for your insights here. He is the Managing Director at EE Publishers.